the space takes a minute to zero.
Kid with a real boxer, real world champion boxer. That the only other time he was in for the fans to get mad with that was against Fury's Tommy Fury, but it wasn't that level, obviously, and all the size things you just rightfully pointed out. But he would have been in there with, I mean, it seemed.
Davis has shocked fans everywhere after revealing a jaw-dropping new physique ahead of his mega fight with Jake Paul. Famous for his compact power and explosive bursts, Davis now looks completely transformed, heavier, harder, and more menacing than ever. Recent gym footage shows a bulked-up version of Tank who seems built to go toe-to-toe with Paul's raw size and strength. The visual change has the boxing world buzzing, wondering if Davis is reinventing himself for the biggest physical test of his career.
So much about him fighting someone like somebody your size. His next opponent is, by far, the most credentialed guy ever fought actively in his prime. There's one problem. He fights at 135 pounds. He fights at 100 and...
As fight night approaches, Davis's training camp has become what insiders call a battlefield against weakness. His sessions mix savage conditioning with non-stop sparring and power drills. Reports say he's pushing heavier weights than ever before, deep squats, power cleans, and endless bag rounds, all aimed at building pure mass without losing his signature quickness. Tank has even brought in larger sparring partners, some close to heavyweight size, to harden himself for Jake Paul's physical assault. Every workout screams one message: Davis isn't coming just to fight. He's coming to meet strength with strength.
Yeah. This Santa Cruz out here today.
You can't let it burn, baby. Let it burn.
Mind over matter, son. Mind over matter.
This is the blues I'm
Ain't nobody doing no shit like this. Come in the desert. Nigga trying to stay away from the desert. He come in the desert.
When the night is
Camera. Oh, shit.
Like action.
Like action. Cap.
Come on, Tank. Come on, Tank. Run him out. Run him out. Come on, get down in there. Get down in there. 10 seconds. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Remember that gun on it? They got that gun on that tank. They go, time.
when the night is cold.
Hey, don't keep you here late at night. Good job.
It's been hard being away from my daughter. She actually here, she sleep. Just being away from her, it was a little touchy, but I know when I'm up against, I know that I got pay-per-view. I know I'm fighting a tough opponent, so really I know how to lock in. I know how to shy away from everything. I know how to, I know how to fool around.
I said 10, huh? I can't go until you look like that.
The odds remain against him. The 195-pound limit and 12-ounce gloves throw Davis, who usually competes at 135, deep into unfamiliar waters. Critics warn that packing on size too quickly could strip away the very qualities that make him elite, that lightning speed and sudden explosiveness. They fear that in trying to match Jake's power, Tank could end up dulling his sharpest weapon, his ability to strike before anyone sees it coming.
Tank Davis fight got moved to Miami.
I think Jake wins.
Jake's just so big, dude.
I think Jake wins.
This is different because it's similar. It's similar to Logan versus Mayweather, but
Jake has better
Paul.
box.
now obviously is way more advanced than where Logan was at that moment in time.
I mean, it's just
fucking sick.
I mean, yeah, no, but dude,
Did you
Jake,
ever watch his highlights?
Jake can
He's
crack,
nasty.
man.
He's so sick. I love that guy, bro.
Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. You have the Paul brothers and they come over to boxing. Their idea from day one is we don't have the skills or the experience. What we're gonna do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're gonna spot us some pound. Tank has one job to do, that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skill, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. Tank is telling anybody that will listen that there's a size problem. My skills and my experience in boxing, I do not have to wonder who's in the bar tonight. Any bar I go to, I rule the bar. Well, no, it turns out that you don't. Just need some big guy to corner you, apparently. Boxing has never stood its ground. Boxing has never been able to explain why Floyd needed a half hour to get rid of a guy who's never boxed before. Tank Davis has already began this. When you choose a dum-dum, don't be surprised when he goes out and acts.
UFC President Dana White didn't sugarcoat his thoughts when asked about the rumored fight. He admitted it lacks true competitive balance, yet he also said it might serve Davis in other ways. After months of controversy and fading buzz, White believes this could deliver Tank a much-needed financial and public revival. Still, he predicted that Jake Paul's natural size, reach, and strength could let him clinch, lean, and wear Davis down. "This isn't just boxing," White said. "It's a test to see if Davis can endure in Jake Paul's world, a world ruled by physical dominance."
Jake Paul to beat Gervonta Davis. This is not a fight that I'm excited for at all. I would rather have Gervonta Davis fighting in a real boxing match against the likes of Lamont Roach, Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, Emmanuel Navarrete, anybody that is in the 135-pound division and around. That's where I want to see Gervonta Davis fight. However, we live in a world where everybody is trying to do things as big as possible. And the biggest fights possible right now, unfortunately for the sport of boxing, is an exhibition fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. So I do like it for this reason, though. I like it because it is allowing Gervonta Davis to have a fight that is going to be big and that the mainstream media is going to have to cover, the mainstream media outside the world of boxing. Gervonta Davis has been, without a doubt, blocked, having venues blocked, having fighters, having other promoters paying fighters away to go different directions from Gervonta Davis. So Gervonta Davis was in a bit of a hole. And he gets an opportunity to fight Jake Paul for $200 million or whatever. I don't mind it at all. As long as Gervonta Davis comes back to the world of boxing after he gets done with this, hey man, you got your money, no worries. But you gotta love Dana White having the audacity to pick Jake Paul in this fight and says something to the effect that, hey, he was talking to Logan Paul and said, hey, when you were fighting Floyd, you know, there was this, you're a gigantic guy, big size difference. There was a time when Floyd Mayweather Jr. had an overhand right that landed flush on Jake Paul.
Former UFC fighter Mike Perry didn't hold back either. He blasted Davis for chasing fame instead of legacy, calling the matchup a pure money grab. Perry said Tank used to fight like a man starving for greatness, but now he looks too comfortable. "He's not that hungry kid from the streets anymore," Perry said. He even argued that Jake Paul's hunger and obsession might actually exceed Davis's at this point. The remark reignited fan debate over whether Tank's fire has dimmed beneath the glow of the spotlight.
He is big. Tank has a lot of skill, but I don't think he's the same Tank that we saw the most incredible knockouts. We saw him, Lamont Roach performed great. They went to draw, and, I just don't know. And Tank walked away. I don't know if he loves it enough to beat a guy who outweighs him by 80 to 100 pounds.
Electric face-off. Fans caught something rare, a flicker of nervous energy from Gervonta Davis. Usually stone-faced and icy, Tank looked uneasy, avoiding eye contact and shifting his stance. Across from him, Jake Paul stood taller, broader, and visibly more assured. Many wondered if the weight gap had finally crept into Davis's head. Some claimed he was simply staying composed, while others called it the first visible crack in his armor.
Looked very uncomfortable facing off. He just did. I've seen other face-offs that Tank done. He gets in their face and they're intense and he looks good. He looked very meager up there. You've had 8 fights and you're gonna go tangle with Tank Davis. And the story instantly comes out. Jake is so much bigger. There is such a compliment to Jake within that insult. It is meant to be an insult. It is meant to take away from a potentially glorious moment for Jake. But where the compliment comes is it means the public believes.
You also have like the size of the ring, the size of the glove, all that stuff. Particulars should be in the contract, but I would probably look for one thing that is not the common thing to have in a contract if I'm Tank. A ladder. A ladder. Can I get a ladder? Somebody? You know what I mean? Hey, look, if he hits him on the chin the way he can punch, Jake might be doing a dance. You know what I mean? Not voluntarily either. But we'll get into that more later. The thing that I'm talking about right here is what you said. It was stark. The size difference was really, you couldn't ignore it. We understand the talent difference, the experience difference. We understand all of that. But the size, the pure, and we understand small guys can beat big guys. We just saw Crawford do it to Canelo, but a little different. The size difference was, it was eye-catching, jaw-dropping, and it made me think. And I'm going to ask Richie, our man here who's doing all the taping, who does such a marvelous job. I'm going to ask him because I know he's an expert in this area. But it reminded me of one of the Rocky movies where they had the face, where they did the wrestling thing with Rocky and Hulk Hogan, a.k.a. Thunderlips. He was Thunderlips back there. And I thought I had it right, and it was confirmed to me